Welcome to the Men Said Show, episode number 2. This week we will be paying homage to Liz Hurley. We will look at your dietary carbon footprint and how that's going to be taking control. There's a furry that goes a little bit too wild with the wolf pack. We've got the legendary Fray Bentos pie. We're going to put that. The Heist in the Louvre and loads more. Right, we'll do a bit about what's fresh. So some fresh activity, some news, some weird stories. We're going to do all of that in this episode of the Men Said Show. As was last week, if you want to get involved, right, follow the links and go to mensaidinc.co.uk. You can go to these articles, so you can leave your comments, and I will talk about your comments. We'll review them on the Friday night live stream. Jizo, it's Friday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. on YouTube and X. That's where kind of we are. Right. Let's get straight into the show.
What's fresh?
So then, what's fresh? So what's fresh is the part of the show where I look at what's coming up. It could be movies, music, it could be sporting events, fight nights, all that kind of jazz. What's coming up in the future? What's fresh? And for this one, which is the first What's Fresh for the Men Said Show, I've got the Anaconda movie. Now, I'm a fan, right? A big fan of like cheesy crap movies, B movies, if you will. Lake Placid 3 is actually really. The first 5 minutes of Lake Placid 3 is absolutely exceptional. Anaconda fits into that, right? Big giant snake killing people, no storyline, and I love those type of movies because I don't have to think about stuff, right? I'm not a big fan of like sitting down and watching something, like a movie anyway, and having to think really hard. If I'm going to do that, I'll watch like a podcast for like 3 hours where they're talking about, I don't know, physics, or I'll watch a documentary. When it comes to movies, I just want some fast-paced, shiny explosions and robots or whatever, and this one, Anaconda, fits the bill. So, you know the Anaconda franchise? This one is now got Jack Black and it's got Paul Rudd in it, and what they're doing is they want to make their own Anaconda movie. They raise a few pounds, right, to a few dollars. I think it's about $9,000 they raise to go out into the jungle and to make the movie. They go out there, they accidentally kill the real anaconda that they've got. That's the star of the show. So what do? They go deep into the jungle to find an anaconda for their show, for their movie. And what did they stumble across? A gigantic, massive, giant anaconda. It's just cool, man. It's just so typical, so obvious, so stupid, and it is right in my sweet spot of movies that I want to watch. I wouldn't go at the cinema, but I would definitely have a movie night on my TV with a few beers and some popcorn and watch the hell out of this one. It looks so good. The trailer is linked in the description, or it's on the website mensaidinc.co.uk. This looks really fun. Honest to God, looks really fun. Check it out. Go and have a look and let us know what you think. What do you think about this one? What do you think about Lake Placid in the first 5 minutes as well? I might do a link to the first 5 minutes of Lake Placid 3 actually as well. You can enjoy that. What else? And so it begins. I talk about digital ID, all that kind of jazz, and here we go. Here we go. The carbon indexing is coming in now. Now, there's a company called Reina Foods, right? This is obviously it's in the UK. In the UK, they are now putting a daily dietary carbon index on their sandwiches. So when you eat a sandwich, you'll helpfully be able to understand what impact you're having on the climate. Now, if you want one of these sandwiches, this is 8%. That's green, 8% of your daily dietary carbon impact. This is, if they want to address something, never mind your bloody dietary carbon indexing. How about your salt intake, right? 30% salt on these sandwiches. But this is just the start. Now, if you're saying, Carl, take off your tinfoil hat, dude, I'm saying no. I want to put on a tinfoil mask and some tinfoil glasses and wear tinfoil gloves, because this was always going to be the way. The whole net zero climate change thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's just a money-making scheme. Like, maybe the climate is changing, but the way that the West are addressing it, especially the UK, it's got nothing to do with supporting climate. It's all about making money. And the way that they start to get it into you is by they start small. They start to tell you, right, that, eating this sandwich, this has an impact on the climate. This has got a climate impact. Then, once you've got your digital IDs and you try to scan your digital card to buy your sandwich, they'll say, in the future, this is over your daily allowance of carbon. Like, now, I know you think that's crazy, but it's not. That is definitely the direction that this government is pushing us in under Ed Miliband. Nice and clear. Crazy Ed Miliband is pushing us into this type of activity. I'm totally against it, right? Totally against it. Like, there's better way. If carbon is such a big deal, there's much better ways to deal with it than the way that we're dealing with it. But the first little seeds, right, are planted in sandwiches. What do you think? Am I crazy? Probably. But is there just a little bit of possibility that I'm telling the truth? Watch out for your sandwiches. They're coming to get you. This is how it starts. Keeping with the topic of like digital IDs and control and all that kind of jazz in the news this week, we had Albania with their AI minister. Now, this is an AI minister for corruption, and I'm assuming it's like anti-corruption, not pro-corruption. They've been brought in to control things because they're independent, because it's AI, right? It's caused uproar by Albania's opposing party. Now, why on earth would they want to have an AI minister? Somebody who is not real, not even a body, and also hasn't been elected, right? They're saying that it's just kind of like symbolic for the direction they're going in. And what crazy wild direction they're going in? Total digital transformation. Who's behind it, may I ask? I'll tell you who's behind it. Tony Blair. So Tony Blair is a big supporter of the Albanian president and has been working with him since like 2010 or something, 2016. He sees him as his protege, yeah? And this is one of the steps that he's doing, bringing in AI ministers, digital IDs, carbon. You can see all of this, man. You can see it just all unfolding. Just look, right? You just take a look. The opposition were not happy in Albania about this, and they threw a few bits of paper around. But what can you do, man? This is apparently progress. Enslavement, digital enslavement by the crazy lefties is progress, by all accounts. But this one's a one to watch, the AI Minister of Albania. Check it out. For this one, I'm kind of like slightly torn a little bit, because this is criminal activity, right, which should not be celebrated and applauded, right? But at the same time, this is like proper heist movie level stuff. So I don't know whether you've seen, but the Louvre on Sunday was broken into in broad daylight. It was like 9:30 a.m. in the morning. AM. EM, what does that stand for? Actually, I mean, it's the morning, but I don't know what it stands for. But the morning, 9:30 a.m. You were all with us up till that point. Like, they had construction gear on. They had a crane. They put the crane up to the second level window on the Louvre. So I assume this is a different part of the Louvre and not that kind of triangular thing, right? They went in with grinders. They broke in. There was people around. Everybody's around. People are in the museum. It's one of the busiest, most famous museums in the whole entire planet. They went in. They grabbed 8 of these Napoleonic jewels, which are all priceless, and then they just bounced. Like, just disappeared. Like, proper heist movie level stuff. Like, really genuinely is broad under the cover of daylight, right? Just some high-vis vests, an angle grinder and a crane, and they just went in and got out and disappeared. Obviously, massive national manhunt on the way to grab them. And I know it's bad. These are bad guys doing a bad thing. But you cannot but love a heist. Heists are like 60s and 70s, maybe 80s things. Now, movies would have you believe that in the 90s you could still do heists like on casinos in Vegas and all that, but not really. Now, can't really do a heist. Tech is too much. Money and all that kind of jazz. It's all digital, right? So heists aren't really a thing. But here's a proper, good old-fashioned heist. This has got movie written all over it. This will be a movie. At least it'll be a good documentary in a couple of years. Right? I thought this was torn because the baddies, yeah. But who doesn't like a good heist movie? Especially if nobody's been injured, and I don't believe anybody's been harmed in the making of this heist. That's the heist. That's the heist. Weird stories. Right, now, there's a lot of weird stories out there. I find tons of them, and I stick them all on mensaidinc.co.uk. This is a good opportunity to advertise the website, and also to advertise my X account, where you'll get these posts regularly. You can click on the post and go to the website. But I do post a lot of the weird stories. They don't come much weirder than a guy who goes by the name of Lupus Moonhowl, who is a wolf furry. Now, I'm sure you know what furries are, right? But furries are people who dress up and act like dogs and animals. That's what they get off on, right? I think it might even be one of the 132 genders. But the furries do that. They're all in. Now, Lupus Moonhowl, whose real name's Brian Sanders, right? So he thought that he really felt as if he should be a part of a wolf pack, and I mean a genuine wolf pack, not a furry one, a Comic-Con or whatever they do, right? A proper one. I'm sorry if I've just broad brushed Comic-Con. Sorry, apologies for Comic-Conners, right? Or even the furry lot. I've got no against furries, but this dude, he felt as if he could integrate himself into a genuine wolf pack in Wyoming. So he got his furries on. He went off and found a wolf pack. And he tried to ingratiate himself with the wolf leader by throwing raw burgers. There's an offering, I guess. I come, wolf pack leader, and I bring great offerings to be a part of your pack. It didn't go down really as the way that he thought it should, and he got quite savaged, unfortunately. So the wolves pounced on him. They ripped his furry suit off. He got proper attacked. He got puncture wounds. Now the wolves then I let him go like, what the fucking hell's going on here? What is this? And bounced. Probably took the burgers and left. And he was like, oh fuck, I'm done. A ranger had somehow saw this, and I helped him and got him back. And he was then interviewed, this Lupus Moonhowl, around, oh, are you going to try this again? And he apparently said no. He said, what did I write here? He says, probably not. They didn't seem very into the role player. So, yeah. Weird, isn't it? Fucking weird, isn't it? Fucking hell. So this one is a weird one, right? It's a tragic one as well. And if you're a fan of my live show, which is Jizo It's Friday, every Friday night, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. on YouTube and X. It's like a night out but in, right? Interactive show. If you're a fan of Jeez What's Friday, you'll have heard this story because I've said this over the last few weeks. But it is the death of Jacob Cockle. Jacob Cockle's he was a lad who was a bit of an adventure seeker, right? He liked to kind of take things to the edge and all that kind of jazz, typical kind of action dude. And what he did was, there was a weird wild whirlpool started off the Cornish coast, and he'd heard about it, and he went out to go and discover it, wearing a wetsuit, and for some reason a horse's mask, because he was crazy. Do you know what I mean? He was like a surfer dude, that kind of lad. He went in and got his pals to film it. So his pals are filming, thinking that he could easily escape whenever he wanted. But unfortunately, he could not. The whirlpool, I don't know how it started off. I mean, this is in Cornwall, right? It dragged him under, and it killed him. And he died. This is the way he died. He died being filmed by his friends with a horse's head on, trying to escape a whirlpool. Unnecessary, but he lived his life in total adventure. But what a wild way to die! The death of Jacob Cockle. is this one. It's a well-known one actually, but this is off of 20. Let me just have a quick look at me notes. This is off 2013, so it's quite old. It is quite old, but you see I've put the footage up as well. Wild, sad, wild. I don't yet have like a transition for a section that I'm going to call nostalgia, or what but it'll be about nostalgia. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but it'll be about that, right? But it'll be things for. I'm Gen X. I'm 46, so I was a kid in the 80s, teen in the 90s. You know, like matured in the 90s, I guess. So what I want to do is I want to look at some of those nostalgic things, nostalgic music and movies and food and toys and games and all that kind of shit. You know what nostalgia is, yeah? Yeah. Well, how about this for a nostalgia thing? This is still around now, right? But I've never thought about it since the 80s and the 90s. The Fray Bentos pie. So this is a pie that's in a tin, right? And like it has a crust, and then the fillings underneath it. And I think you open the lid. I think, right? You put it in the oven. And it burns, it cooks, doesn't it? And the pie crust grows, and bang, you've got a steak pie in a tin. That was a staple in my house in the 80s, and probably the early 90s. I'm a super fussy eater. And not now, I'm not, but when I was a kid though, I was a proper beige food only, but I wouldn't eat this beige. But it was like a staple in our household, the Fray Bentos pie. And I don't want to say it was a luxury item, but I feel it was a kind of like luxury-ish. I don't know. But we were talking about it on the live stream, and it's been so long, and it just came. I was like, fucking hell, Fray Bentos pies. It's wild. And they still sell them. I didn't realise. Yeah, they do. Here's one here. A Fray Bentos pie. Steak and gravy pie. They still sell them. I'm getting this off Amazon for £2 with free delivery. This came through my door today. Nostalgia delivery. Not one nostalgia delivery for Colin. Fray Bentos pie. Check that out. I might eat this tomorrow live on Jesus Friday. So £2. Might just have it as a snack, just as we're talking. Just tuck in to a Fray Bentos. Anybody else have Fray Bentos? Was this a thing in your family? Were you a Fray Bentos family? Do you still have Fray Bentos pies? Am I just been a dick? I've probably been a dick, but I didn't realise there was still a thing. I didn't think that they existed. See, since 1881, so these must have been like big thing during the wars as well. Fray Bentos, awesome. I'm going to eat this over the next kind of couple of days. Probably live on the live stream. I'd like to know what it's like. There's a proper nostalgia thing for you. Nostalgia, baby. So here's another thing I don't yet have a transition for. But as the Men Said shows go from episode 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, I'll build up the transitions. I'll work it all out, and this will evolve, right? With this being the Men Said show number 2, you're right in on the ground floor of the Men Said show. So get yourself involved, right? Get involved. That's something special. The other thing I don't have a transition for is a transition into like laddish kind of like appreciation of women. Do you know what I mean? Like in the old days, that would have been a page 3, right? Yeah. In the later days, well, in the days of Zoo and Nuts, it would have just been whoever's on their cover girls. Do you know what I mean? Grid girls, ring girls, all that. We're gonna have a bit of that because there ain't nothing wrong with the female form. Nothing wrong with that, like. But because this is Make Fellas Great Again, because this is Gen X, right, and millennials that I'm picking on, I'm not going for whoever's young and all that, right? I'm going for the ones that hit hard back in the day, but are still hitting hard now. And is there a better example than Liz Hurley? She's 60 years old and she's absolutely stunning. It's incredible what she looks like. Now, I'm sure there's filters at play, right? But even still, is there any Photoshop in here? I don't know. But it is insane. how she is looking at 60-year-old. So I've put her on the cover of like Men Said, because I'm trying to do this as a kind of like a digital magazine. That's the goal. I imagine in 50 Men Said shows time, a year down the line, right, when I'm getting it well oiled, you know, I mean, this show will be like an hour long. It'll be, you know, it'll evolved. The quality will be better. I really want this to feel like a men's digital magazine with those type of weird stories, crazy news, cool cars. Do you know what I mean? Like movies coming up and fight nights and all that. I've really started to dedicate a lot of time into this, but I'm just finding my feet. But the one thing I do want to do is to do a cover, like a magazine cover. So I've done 4, and on the first one we had Salma Hayek at 58, super hot. Here's Liz Hurley at 60. I'm just seeing Halle Berry at 59. Like Gillian Anderson, I think she's like hot at like 58 as well. So I'm going to try to keep it with the ladies who were impactful, like when I was like young, for as long as I can. But Liz Hurley, like wow, I think she looks better now than she did when she broke onto the scene, when she was like arm candy, when she for Hugh Grant. Remember like Hugh Grant being like a big like floppy haired dude doing rom-coms. I'm sure the first time we saw Liz Hurley, she must have been a model or something, and he rocked up to some kind of show, and like he was like linked arms with her, and she had I'm sure she had like a black dress with like safety pins in them or something. I'll put pictures on here, because I'll correct myself as I go. And then there was the other thing that I've been reminded of is when she done an award, and Billy Connolly was quite surprised with her entrance to the award. I'll stick that on as well. Actually, we'll appreciate that, Liz Hurley. I tell you who she is doing much better than Hugh Grant. I watched Hugh Grant's movie Heretic, which was fantastic, by the way. I loved it to hover, but he's looking old. He's aged a lot faster than Liz has. And I'll dot pictures around and video clips, and I'll do all of that as I'm talking. But I want to end the show with the appreciation of our cover. And maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe finish with the cover story. Maybe that's what we'll do. But I want to finish the show with an appreciation of Liz Hurley, because she looks absolutely stunning. So then, with that in mind, that's the end of the Men Said show. Probably pushing them about 20 odd minutes tonight. I want to creep it up to like half an hour, then 45 minutes. Get really tight with the sections. Have a news one. Have what's fresh, so you've got something to look forward to. News, not the kind of not like fucking a war here and a war there, but like the kind of the cool stuff. Do you know what I mean? Or the wacky stuff. Some weird stories, some nostalgia, some cool cars, and then we'll have some of the hot ladies of the 90s. We'll do, who are still hot now. Caveat. We'll do some of that. Please check me out on X, where I've just done a massive purge. I've deleted every post that I've ever done on X in case I've posted something stupid, and that's been crushing me algorithm. So I've done that. So I'm rebooting on X. Please subscribe on YouTube. Join the show on a Friday night. Jesus, it's Friday, which is a night out but in. Yeah, it's unscripted. It's a few beers. It's chatting with people in the chat. Pull up some of these stories and stuff like that. See what's going on in the comments, all that kind of jazz. It's good fun. It's a good laugh. It's a good way to connect at the end of the week, right? It's like kind of like a virtual pub. That's what it is. So come along to that. mensaidinc.co.uk. That's where I'm curating all of my stuff. My stuff being curated there. Go in there and leave anonymous comments on every one of the articles, and I will read those out in the Jesus Friday show, and I might start pulling them into the Men's Said show as well in the future. I'm at the beginning of a journey, right? I'm at the beginning of a journey, and I do think there's something fun and cool here about these types of stories and just having a bit of a prod and a poke and a bit of a laugh. That's what I'm trying to do. Hope you've had fun, right? Hope you've liked it. Please like, please comment, please share. Do whatever you can to help us get out there. That'd be super appreciated. And thank you so much for being, if you're still here now, thank you so much, because that will not be many people. So if you are one of those people, let me know, actually in comment, let me know. Because the other thing I do is I do competitions. I've thrown out things. I've thrown out merch before. I've thrown out a Mr. Frosty before. I'll throw stuff out there as competitions, right? So maybe that's one of the things that I can maybe bring in. If you're still here at the end, I'll do a secret code. Put the code in the comment and be in for a competition. Maybe that's the thing. Anyway, I love yous. Genuinely do. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Check me out next week for the Men Said Show 3. I have no idea what's going to be in there. It depends what I find this week. Peace.